In this video, I'm going to go over rack installation on a 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Now, as you can see, looking at the Tacoma, some of them come with side rails in place. This one's got a naked roof, and so you have to get a rack system that can attach to that naked roof. Now, I've got some long kayaks that I need to get up onto the roof and transport safely. And so I decided to go with a Yakima rack system. Now, this is my old system that I had on my previous vehicle, and it's got a style that attaches to a factory side rail. Now, unfortunately, because the 2016 Tacoma is new and Yakima just updated their rack systems, it's not possible to put that rack back onto the vehicle. So in order to make this system work, I needed to get new baseline towers. Now with the baseline tower, it comes with kind of an aerodynamic style versus the round bar on the typical older Yakima racks. So I would have to get an attachment that would work with the round bar. That's a $30 attachment. Going with the new sleeker Corebar was only slightly more, so I decided to go ahead and update my whole system and see if I can sell the other system secondhand. So this installation is good on a Tacoma. It's also good on any other naked roof using this system. So Yakima has basically got three different styles of bars. They've got a round bar, they've got this Corebar, which is kind of in the middle, and then they've got a higher end, more aerodynamic version. Now the baseline tower works with any of those three systems. So in order to make this rack system work, you've got to get these bars, you've got to get the baseline towers, and then you have to get clips that are specific to your vehicle. So you can either, if you go into the store to purchase a rack, they can tell you which clips will work. You can look it up in the Yakima catalog, or you can go to their website and determine which clips are necessary. On the 2016 Tacoma, you need the BC128 for the rear bar, the BC145 for the front bar. Now, one thing that I am able to salvage from my old rack is the SKS lock core. So that will fit into that little slot. So in order to make that work, you need one of these Yakima keys. It says wind on the back, so you can identify it. Basically, you can see that it has no cut in the key. So once you've unlocked the SKS lock core, we can go ahead and stick this key into that slot and then just pull straight out. And you can see we've got the lock core out now. Now, on the new baseline tower, we can take just a small screwdriver, and I'm going to do this with the camera. Basically, you just pop that out, and then you can pop that back into the old rack. And if you see in the very back, there's a little circle spot. That little guy sticks into that. So you want to line that up, and then you just push it in, and then pull that out. Now we've got the lock core installed. Now the next step for rack installation is you can see on the edge here, those three little dots. Going to go ahead and squeeze on both sides, pop that cover right off. Then you're going to take this little gray guy and you're going to pull it out until you hear that audible click. Okay, and what that does is that opens up this gap in here. You can see that we've got two little Allen head screws in there, so that opens that up so that you can access that guy. Now, on the Yakima rack system, if you look in the instruction manual, there's a sheet here where you need to take measurements of your vehicle. So you can see, looking at the diagram, that we've got M1, M2, M3, M4. So you need to take all those measurements. The other option to doing that is you can go to Yakima's website. That is at fitlookup.yakima.com. So if you look that up there, that will give you all of the statistics on your vehicle. So you can see here, I looked at my vehicle, and then it's got all those measurements available for you. That way you don't need to take them on your vehicle. So I would recommend doing that. To save you a little bit of trouble. Now, the next portion of the installation is we're going to take this base tower, and in this little slot right here, assuming that you have the same Corebar style rack, there's a small insert that goes into that. This guy right here. And you're going to take that, and you're going to, this is the one piece of the installation. This is my fourth time doing this now. I've got it down a little bit, so I push it in on that side, and then just push down to hear that audible click. So, actually, I don't know if that went in. This is the one piece of the installation so far that is, there we go. You heard that click there. So you got both sides flush there. That piece is a little bit tricky to do. Now, the next part of the installation, we're going to take this guy here, and there's a torque wrench that came with the rack. I'm going to take this guy, and we're just going to get it start on there. Now that spot where we took out the gray slot, that's the screw that we're going to be turning. We're just going to get on there kind of tight. We still need to make some adjustments, so we're just going to do that for now. So then what we need to do, I've already got the front bar set up and ready to go. What we're going to do now is we're going to get the rear bar ready to go. So you can see on the rear bar, M3, we want a spacing of 36 7/8 inch from mount to mount. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So we've got the Corebar laid out, and the baseline towers you'll see just slide into place. Now you've got to make sure that this guy is not tightened too tight, or you won't be able to slide it into place. So make sure that it's pretty loose, slide it into place, and then as far as the measurements, if we take a look at this diagram here, looking at the rear of the vehicle, the measurements that are going to be key are M3, so that's 36 7/8 of an inch. That is going to be from this point to that point, measured across. So you want to have even spacing on either end of the bar over here. So that's the 36 7/8. And then for the settings here, we've got this back piece. You can see that there are 3 little marks on there. So for the rear, you can see we've got our P2 mark. And for the P2 mark, it's at setting B, which is right in the middle. Now on the T2 mark on the rear of the vehicle, it's at 2. That is also in the middle. So what we want is the P2 setting of that one right in the middle, and then this one we're going to have to adjust that so that it's right in the middle too. You can do that by loosening that guy with the torque wrench. So we're going to set both of those in the middle. We're going to confirm that this total distance from each of the towers is 36 7/8 of an inch, and then we will jump to the next step after that. Now it's really important to get these settings just right on here. You can see that this setting on the T2, as we adjust that, if we loosen and move from one side to the other, it'll adjust this piece back and forth. So the settings that Yakima recommends are based off of your vehicle, and so it's going to be conformed to whatever the design is of your vehicle, and so it's really important that you get that just right on for the settings that they give you, so that it'll fit onto your vehicle as intended. Now in the package with your base clips is this little pad. Now you want to have this open side going out away from the center of the vehicle. You'll see that on the bottom there, that's designed to attach right onto here. So I'm just going to take that, apply a little bit of pressure. You should hear 2 clicks, one on each side there. So now that one's attached there. Now you've also got these little caps that come to fill in the hole on either side of the core bar. So it's got the Yakima logo on there. You want to make sure that that's right side up. And so we'd want it to be upside down right now. Got to make sure that I put this on here right so that it fits when it's upright. So yes, that's correct. Pop that guy onto there. You just put a little pressure and you're good to go. So now we're going to take the bar, now that we've got those settings done, we're going to set it on the vehicle and make sure that our measurements are correct. So I've got the rear portion of the rack positioned. You can see that it fits right on this rubber gutter on both sides of the vehicle. So it's really important that you get those initial measurements correct so that it fits just in place. It's really easy to get it positioned as long as that's correct from the beginning. Then we measure our distance from this point to this point to exactly 32 inches on both sides of the vehicle. The next step is we've got this piece here, which if you just, first we got to push in this plastic piece on the top that we opened up at the beginning. Then you flip this one up, and then this guy will slide right into place. You hear that snap, you're good. So the next step is we are going to take the wrench and we're going to tighten it on this side. We're going to go back and forth between both sides of the vehicle and tighten evenly. So once it gets a little bit tight, we'll go to the other side, tighten it, and go back and forth until both sides are nice and snug. So once you're done tightening this guy on both sides of the vehicle, you're going to take this plastic piece, snap that down into place, and then this guy up here should be pushed in as well. Missed that one. So then this guy you're going to tighten on both sides of the vehicle, go back and forth until you hear those 3 snaps. Once that's done, that is in place. I already did that on the other side of the vehicle. Next step, you're going to take the cover and we're going to put that on there. Get the bottom, actually sorry, get the top on in place first. Maybe it is the bottom first. There we go. So you get the bottom in place and then you just push on the top so you hear that click. So once you get that guy there, then the last step is we're going to take the key and we're going to lock the rack onto the vehicle. So now we've got both in place, locked into the vehicle, and you're good to add attachments. So there are a number of different types of attachments that you can get. The Pack-A-Sport, for example, has got kind of a general style clamp on the bottom, so that would work with either the round bars or with the Corebar style. This guy, on the other hand, you can see is kind of circular in style. So these bike attachments are not going to work on the new rack, so that's unfortunate. And then we've got a Thule boat attachment that'll work with any style as well. So that's an installation of the Yakima Corebar and baseline tower rack on the 2016 Tacoma. I didn't really get into specifics of the Yakima versus some of the other options. I'd say if you go with a Yakima or a Thule rack, they're both great options, good quality rack systems. There are some others out there now that are pretty good as well. They're all overpriced, but Yakima is kind of what I've stuck to traditionally. And then you saw that I had the boat attachments that are Thule, so got some various attachments. So anyway, that is the installation of the rack on the Tacoma. If you've got any questions on the installation, leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them.